You're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
Former MotoGP world champion Jorge Lorenzo has once again shocked the public with his surprising comments. According to Lorenzo, the only rider with the potential to stop Marc Marquez's dominance in next week's race is Marco Bezzecchi. Lorenzo believes Bezzecchi has shown significant progress throughout the season. His consistency in maintaining race rhythm and ability to read the situation on the track have led Lorenzo to believe Bezzecchi could be Marc's biggest threat. If we look at it, Marquez is still very strong, especially in one-on-one duels. But Bezzecchi has speed and a more mature mentality. If anyone can stop Marquez next week, I think it's only Bezzecchi, Lorenzo stated firmly. This statement certainly attracted significant attention, as many were favoring other Ducati riders or even Yamaha riders to take on Marc. However, Lorenzo's confidence has made the public even more curious. Is Bezzecchi truly a worthy opponent and the only one who can stop Marc Marquez in the next round? Here's the full news. Former five-time world champion Jorge Lorenzo is once again the talk of the town after his surprising statement ahead of next week's MotoGP round. In an exclusive interview, Lorenzo unequivocally stated that Marco Bezzecchi is the only rider with a real chance of stopping Marc Marquez's dominance. This comment immediately became a hot topic in the paddock and among MotoGP fans worldwide. So far, the public has focused on other big names like Francesco Pecco Bagnaia, Jorge Martin, Enea Bastianini, or Fabio Quartararo as the strongest candidates to challenge Marquez. However, Lorenzo instead chose Bezzecchi, a youngster from a satellite team who has been a surprise performer this season. In his analysis, Lorenzo believes that Bezzecchi possesses a combination of speed, courage, and a fighting mentality that sets him apart from his rivals. Bezzecchi's aggressive riding style, often daring to cut corners, is considered a secret weapon against Marquez, who is known for his skill in wheel-to-wheel duels. Marc is like a predator on the track. He's not only fast, but also possesses a killer instinct that other riders rarely possess. To compete with him, a rider can't just have a fast bike. They must have nerves of steel, be willing to take risks, and be unafraid of physical contact in corners. From what I've seen throughout this season, Bezzecchi is the only one who dares to challenge Marquez with that style, Lorenzo asserted. Furthermore, Lorenzo also touched on Bezzecchi's rapid development over the past 2 seasons. From a rider initially considered merely a grid filler, Bezzecchi has now grown into a serious contender with consistent podium finishes and an increasingly mature riding style. Lorenzo believes that this progress is not mere coincidence, but rather the result of Bezzecchi's hard work with his team in understanding the bike and race strategy. Many people still doubt Bezzecchi because he comes from a satellite team, not a factory team. But I think that's actually an advantage. The pressure on a satellite team isn't as great as on a main team, and Bezzecchi can develop more freely. And now the results are visible. He's bold, fast, and hungry for victory. Next week, everyone should be wary of Bezzecchi, added Lorenzo. Lorenzo's statement has certainly drawn controversy. Some observers consider Lorenzo's remarks to be excessive, considering that Marquez is still at the peak of his form and almost always dominant. However, others believe that Lorenzo's comments could be a wake-up call for his rivals, who have so far struggled to match Marquez. If Lorenzo's prediction is correct, next week's race has the potential to present a spectacular duel, Marc Marquez, looking to maintain his hegemony, against Marco Bezzecchi, the young challenger touted as the biggest threat. The atmosphere leading up to the race is heating up. The media, fans, and analysts are constantly discussing the possibility of this major duel. All eyes are now on Bezzecchi. Will he be able to justify Lorenzo's confidence? Or will his predictions prove to be empty talk and Marquez will once again demonstrate his superiority? One thing is certain, Jorge Lorenzo's statement has heightened the tension in MotoGP. And next week, the track will tell the story. The 2025 Austrian MotoGP at the Red Bull Ring was a truly thrilling spectacle. One of the most talked about moments was the heated duel between Marco Bezzecchi, Aprilia Racing, and Marc Marquez, Ducati Lenovo team. This duel even prompted former world champion Casey Stoner to make a scathing comment about the race. At the start of the race, Bezzecchi appeared confident. His Aprilia bike looked competitive on the Red Bull Ring's long straight, allowing him to stay ahead of the pack. Bezzecchi gave the team and Aprilia fans high hopes that a top-flight podium could be secured. However, the situation began to change as Marc Marquez slowly but surely closed in on him. As has often been the case throughout his career, Marquez once again displayed a fearsome aura as he pursued his rivals. As Marquez began to close in on Bezzecchi, the mental pressure became apparent. Bezzecchi began to lose his rhythm, evident in his increasingly inconsistent lap times. He went wide several times in fast corners, widening Marquez's chances. Casey Stoner, now a MotoGP observer, shared his thoughts after the race. He said that being in front of Marquez with pressure from behind is a very difficult situation for any rider to face. When Marc is behind you, it's like a big shadow is constantly chasing you. He's not only fast, but also has an incredible mentality to intimidate his opponents. Bezzecchi tried to defend, but he was clearly overwhelmed by Marc's attacking style, Stoner said. The crucial moment came in the final laps. Bezzecchi went slightly wide in the final sector, and Marquez immediately exploited the narrow gap with his trademark maneuver. Within seconds, the lead was Marquez's. Even more painful for Bezzecchi, his mentality wavered after being overtaken. Instead of regaining the lead, he dropped to third place due to a loss of focus and energy for the remainder of the lap. Marc Marquez ultimately emerged victorious at the 2025 Austrian MotoGP, cementing his reputation as a rider with a steely mentality. Meanwhile, Bezzecchi could only settle for third place, despite having a strong chance to win. Casey Stoner emphasized that Marquez's victory this time was more than just technical ability. Marc's mentality is insane. He never stops pushing, always making his opponents uncomfortable. That's why when he's close behind you, the outcome is almost predictable. He'll find a way to win, said Stoner. For Stoner, Bezzecchi's experience in Austria can be an important lesson. Although disappointed to miss out on the top step of the podium, Stoner believes Bezzecchi still has great potential. However, to beat Marquez, it takes more than just a fast bike. It requires courage, consistency, and a mentality on par with Marquez, something that remains extremely rare in MotoGP today. This race once again proved that despite the emergence of many young talents, Marc Marquez remains the benchmark for a winning mentality in MotoGP. Whenever a racer tries to challenge him, they often collapse mentally before the finish flag even flies.
You're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Got some egos to the face, baby, I don't